everyone! So I wanted to give you my review of the new Disney Channel original movie, Disney Descendants 2. Now I know I'm not exactly in the demographic for this movie, but I'm a pretty big Disney fan and I love things that are super cheesy and ridiculous. I was too old for High School Musical 2. I mean, I was in high school when the first one came out. I was a big fan of the first one, which I only watched because my dad was watching it, so gives you a little insight into my family. The second one came out, and I remember watching the first 5 minutes of it and turning it off right after that first song because I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. And then a few years later, I discovered High School Musical 2 on the internet. I found a really funny recap of it, and I saw that it was super gay, or at least there was what I like to call the big gay baseball dance-off, known as I Don't Dance. So I became a huge Ryan and Chad shipper, and I also saw the Troy song Bet on It, in which he dramatically dances around a golf course, and I thought it was hilarious. And High School Musical 2 quickly became like the thing I was obsessed with at that point, so much so that I showed it to my sister and got her obsessed with it, and then we got tickets to go see High School Musical on Ice. This is something that happened in my life when I was technically an adult. So, just to give you some background, it's not that weird that I'm watching Disney Descendants, or Disney Descendants 2. I did watch the original when it was on a couple years ago. I even read the book, Isle of the Lost. Let's see. Yay, by Melissa de la Cruz. And I even have it signed by the author. Yes, I am this person. This I did go all the way to the Disney store for my Ardon Prep keychain. And I'm gonna stop talking because this is slightly cringe. So Disney Descendants 2 was on television last night. I will say overall, quick thing, no spoilers, I enjoyed it. I don't think it was quite as good as the first one, but I also need to re-watch it. They're campy, silly, fun. I kind of put them in the same category that I put Riverdale, where I call it beautiful trash or delicious trash, because I don't think it's really good, but it is fun and it just makes you stop thinking. And there's so much worse that you could be watching and wasting your time on. I think all of the people in it are very, very, very pretty. I think the costumes are, for the most part, really good. There's a few that I was kind of eh. I also comment on Mal and Evie's eye makeup was on the entire time. Oh my god, it was gorgeous. I couldn't stop staring at their eyes. It was so perfect. I also kind of love Evie, like, a lot. She's my favorite character. She is my queen. From here on out, spoiler warning, I wasn't really digging the Carlos-Jane romance in this. I feel like they shouldn't have given Carlos a romance, for the same reason I feel like they shouldn't have given Ryan a romance in High School Musical. It feels like they got a lot of comments on the first movie that Carlos seemed very gay, and they said, oh no, we can't have people thinking he's gay, quick, let's get him with whatever girl is left. And so they just shoved him and Jane together. It's kind of like the Ryan and Kelsey thing from High School Musical 3, which was also hilarious because everyone's like, I think Ryan's gay, also I think Kelsey's a lesbian. So Disney was like, nah, look, they're together. I do have to say, I grew a little bit more fond of it towards the end when Carlos got very excited about being part of Girl Talk, and when he asked Jane out finally, and she said she was the luckiest girl in the world, and he's like, so am I, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. And now I want to read all of the fan fiction with trans girl Carlos. I think that would be very interesting. I know Disney is not going to go there because they're not even going to make a slightly gay character in their Disney Channel original movies, but I think it would be an interesting plot to explore. Milani is Mulan's daughter. She had a plot where she wanted to join the fencing team. It was okay, but it could have been fleshed out a bit more. I wish they could have maybe kept her in the story a little bit more, so it wasn't just like, oh yeah, this is the thing that's happening. The talking dog was dumb. I know you had to have the dog because he's from the first movie. It's Carlos's dog, but it was stupid and I didn't like it. And it didn't super have to do with the plot. I don't think. I know that's how they convinced Uma that it was the real magic wand, but I don't remember it having a point other than that. So, waste of time. It was stupid. I don't like it. So Uma, who's Ursula's daughter, she was fine. I thought the actress did a fine job. Harry Hook. My initial comment on Harry Hook was, why does Harry Hook have a hook? Getting your hand cut off isn't genetic, which is very true. And then I noticed the way it was on there. I was like, okay, if he does have a hook on there, it looks super shitty. Like, it looks like he's holding a hook. And then I realized, wait, is he just holding a hook because it's hashtag ironic? Turns out he is just holding a hook, and I don't even know. Gaston's son, whose name I didn't actually pick out, was kind of adorable. Like, he was dopey and just like kind of an idiot, but I also kind of loved him. Like, I wanted to give him a hug and be like, oh, it's okay. It's okay, you're pretty. I just want to pat him on the head. Speaking of dumb people, somehow they made Chad even stupider than he was in the first movie. Like, he was really dumb here. He seemed a little bit tweaked out. Like, his hair was all like frizzy and his eyes were constantly wide, and I just want to be like, dude, someone needs to check to make sure he's not on drugs, because something has happened to this kid. Audrey wasn't in this movie, which I didn't like Audrey in the first movie, so I was fine with that. But yeah, Lady Tremaine on the Isle of the Lost has a salon called Lady Tremaine's Curl Up and Dye, which is a fantastic name for a salon, like A+. And then Drizella's daughter, so Lady Tremaine's granddaughter, works there. Her name is Dizzy. I liked her bonding with Evie, like they're kind of like sisters and girliness and loving to make dresses and makeup and all that stuff. So I liked that relationship. So part of the plot is that they sneak onto the Isle of the Lost and they bring Ben with them. And Ben's disguise, like they disguise him up so he looks like an Isle kid. It's terrible because, yeah, he has like a leather jacket with studs and he has like a beanie cap pulled down over his head. But his jacket, it's still navy blue, which is his colors are blue and gold because, you know, Beauty and the Beast. So he's wearing this dark blue leather jacket with like the royal crest on the front and on the back, and then his t-shirt underneath, it's like has claw marks ripped across it, and you can see the beast's face. Like, what? You're not even trying. This is like a disguise. It's a bit counterintuitive to put the royal crest saying like, hey, look, I'm the king, on your disguise saying like, oh, look, I'm an Isle kid. So that was ridiculous. I thought it was hilarious, and I was just like, what? Like, we won't recognize him if you don't put him in his colors and make sure we know, like, oh, don't forget, he's the king. Which, by the way, does he go to school anymore, or is he the king, like, all the time? Because he's still, like, 16. Shouldn't he still be in school? I'm confused. There was a song in here that made me ship Evie and Mal a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Evie and Doug, who is Dopey's son. I think they are adorable. I love their little business together, and I loved his little jealousy when he's just trying to figure out what happened, because he wasn't in the movie much. I wish he was in there more, but I loved towards the end where he's like, you know, happy son, he's not that happy. He thinks he thinks Evie's cheating on him. But there was a part in the movie where Mal and Evie sing a song, and I know they're best friends, but it was very much, it seemed like a breakup type of song. It gave me flashbacks to Gotta Go My Own Way from High School Musical 2 when Troy and Gabriella break up. Seemed like a very similar song. It was very emotional, and they were showing flashbacks from the first movie of Mal and Evie's interactions together. So it seemed very shippy, and I was like, kind of was ashamed of myself. I was like, don't ship it, but I kind of ship it. What I thought was the end, but wasn't the end, was the scene where they bring the magic wand to the boat on the Isle of the Lost. They bring it to Uma, and rapping ensues, and it's bad and terrible and embarrassing, and it gave me flashbacks to the Beauty and the Beast Be Our Guest rap from the first movie, which was so cringy. It was like the most hilarious part. It was a part of the first movie where I was watching the whole thing and I was doing fine, and then that came on and I had to leave the room because I was cringing so hard and just trying to hide. Because we can sing, 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 you can dance, 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 after all, miss, this is France. Oh my god, okay. And then I kind of liked it, even though the rapping was so bad. And it's not the Be Our Guest thing, the rapping in this. It was so bad, but I was almost kind of on board with it. And then Ben started singing. He wasn't rapping, he was just singing in the middle of the song, and it was also embarrassing and horrible and cringy. And yeah, I kind of stopped paying attention a little bit during this part because I was like, oh, I know it's gonna happen, whatever. And also I was, it was too much. It was a little bit too much for me. There was sword fighting though, and Evie's sword fighting is the best. I love how everyone just knows how to sword fight. And Evie is my queen, and she was sword fighting, and I was like, yes, slay girl, yeah. Also, her clothes the whole time are fabulous, and I want to be her, and I think she's the best, and I love her. And that's was my final note on here, is Evie equals the best, slay queen. That's what I thought was the end, was getting Ben off the Isle of the Lost. And then they actually got back, and there's gonna be the royal coronation, and then there was more plot, like Uma came back. I felt it seemed a bit tacked on, like someone's like, yeah, but we need 15 more minutes of story, so let's see, Uma comes and she bewitches Ben, and yeah, stuff. Also, it included terrible CGI, which is something I love Disney Channel original movies for, because that CGI of Mal as a dragon and Uma being Ursula-y, being an octopus, was hilarious. And then Ben dove into the water for some reason, and then he was treading water, but he wasn't really. It looked like he was standing on a platform in water. Like, he wasn't moving. That's not how you tread water. And I don't really remember what happened, which sounds terrible. I was talking with my sister earlier, and she was like, wait, how did they defeat Uma? And I was like, I think they talked and they worked out their differences. I don't quite remember. It didn't leave that much of an impression on me. And then we had the final song, which I did enjoy, and there was dancing, which it was the boat was flooded with water, and they were dancing in the water, and there were some moves that were really cool, like splashing and like stomping and stuff. That was cool. And then there were some other ones where it was like break dancing in the water, and it just looked messy and silly. The songs weren't that memorable. I remember there was the one that I liked the best was Chillin' Like a Villain, where they're teaching Ben how to be like an Isle kid. I don't really remember the hook or like how the song goes at all, but I remember enjoying it. A lot of the songs, it's very different from like High School Musical vibes, because those ones were more, I feel, musical theater-y, and these ones are more like EDM poppy. So that's what I thought of Disney Descendants 2. Let me know what you thought of it. I'm currently house sitting, and the video situation over at that house isn't super great, so I'm hoping I'll be able to get back and film my reaction to Game of Thrones either tomorrow or the next day, so expect that within a few days, but I'm not sure how often I'm going to be able to get some videos up. Once again, let me know what you thought of this video and Disney Descendants 2 down in the comments below. Remember to hit the like button, remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, blah 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 blah. There's a link to my channel like over here, and there's a link to my last video over here, and that's all. Have a good one, you guys. Bye!